Okay, this video is just about some of the things that I noticed. Um, I know it's summer and a lot of people are excited that they get a little bit of time off. And a lot of times, what women will do is they'll try to go online and go on these hookup sites. So you see here, I pulled up, what does it say, top 10 best sites for dating sites or whatever. And so this is the new trend now, that what people will do is, they have every category: people who are over 50, people who are in the gay community, people who are Christians, people who maybe they're, whatever your preferences are. And so there's there's even one down here, Black People Meet. There's all these different sites that are all over the place. And this is the new thing in this generation, media and all this kind of stuff. Used to be, I think we were at an age where we were just getting out of, where people, I think they still do a little bit of that, but it's a little bit different because social media kind of pushes people meeting each other, and then they maybe they say where they're going to be, what club they're going to be at, what, how they want to meet, whatever. I don't know, it's probably a whole lot different now, but it used to be you would just go out and go to a party spot, and whoever you would meet, if you thought you guys clicked, then that's how it worked. But or it was somebody that you knew from school, that you guys liked each other and you wanted to meet, or you wanted to be together, or but now it's different. And I'm noticing, there's this lady I was listening to today, and most of a lot of the things that she says is what I think, but then too, I'm thinking I'm not really into chasing anybody. And I noticed that a lot of, I really thoroughly listened to some of the stuff that she was saying. And a lot of those women are like really just chasing men, is what it looks like. It's like they're plotting how to get the best guy, and what to do, and how to look out for the best guy, and in their persona, and chasing men. And so I'm kind of getting a little turned off, because when is it that the guy is going to go after the female? And I haven't heard that talk yet. So I don't know. Maybe it is in some other videos, and I hadn't really like absorbed a lot of it. A lot of it seems like it's what women need to do. I don't know. But a lot of it is kind of like in women's favor, but then it kind of switches back. Oh, you shouldn't have did this. And so I don't know. I'm not that crazy about it now that I'm starting to reevaluate some of the things that I've heard recently. But I don't know. I'm just not into. I mentioned that I was not really wanting to have any relationships with anyone, and I would not be on any of these sites. Um, and I didn't want to make anybody feel bad, but I'm not interested in anybody right now. I don't know if that upsets anybody, but yeah, I don't know if you know where I'm coming from. I don't know. I just like being by myself. I feel like I've gotten more gratification being alone rather than being with someone. And I don't know if people understand that. Um, I get more satisfaction being by myself than to be involved with people, because I, I have I have kind of talked about how sometimes I don't really trust very many people. That's not the only reason. It's not just that, that is one of them, but I don't know. I just like, It's drama free. I can kind of go and come as I please. I don't have to answer to someone and do something for someone. There's a lot involved. You know, when you're in a relationship with someone, it's like, if you're with that person in the beginning, it feels like you're always on the spot. You're having to do something for them, or you're wanting them to do something for you. And I don't know, I can't see myself in that predicament anymore. And I said anymore, yeah, I've had several relationships, so I don't want it anymore. So I know some people say, "Oh, it sounds so sad" or whatever, but I don't know. It's not a sad thing. It's just I don't really get gratification with someone. So that's why I said in a couple of my videos that if that person is for real, that's why it's hard to bullshit me. You would never do it. You never do it. It would never happen because I'm not interested. So I heard like this lady I had listened to. I have posted some of her videos, but I've heard some of the stuff some of the women are put up with, and like, that would never be something that I would put up with. Because first of all, I would never like open myself up to that kind of craziness. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that people will do to get involved with someone, to be with someone, just to say they're in a relationship. And so I find that troubling in this society. And I feel like this society puts stipulations on people on who they should be with. And that's probably why I'm not with anyone, because I feel like there's a lot of drama behind it. Like everybody was always in the business of Merkel's relationship, the young lady that just got married, and with Prince Harry, and it just seemed like so much drama. And it's like, can people just like be out of the media? That's celebrity people, but like just regular people, it's like, I don't know, it's too much drama. And like, I know some people, they make a big deal out of marriage. I think marriage is not all that. It really isn't. People, they make a big deal out of it. It is not all that. It isn't. It isn't. Some of the people that I've seen get married, they married 20 years, they got divorced. 30 years they got divorced. 40 years they got divorced. It's like, whatever. It's not what people don't understand. It's not what you think it is. They don't know until they actually are in it. And then they realize some people wait a long time before they get married. They're together, they're living together in a common law relationship. And then they finally get married, and that's when they know, oh, we've been together all these years, so let's get married, Sometimes that works, and other times it doesn't. Or other times it's just they're afraid to get married because they're younger, and they don't know if they're going to change their minds. And then when they finally get older, it's to decide, how do you feel? How do you feel? It's like, so that's why I'm like, I feel like it's a game, and that there's a lot of people who are not serious. There's a lot of playing around. The other thing that I think that kind of turns me off a lot is the games. It's like a game. Like, look at all these sites. These are just a couple of sites. It's not all of the sites all around. There's a lot of more sites. And so I'm not that excited about none of it. I'm yawning a little bit. I'm not excited about it. I feel like it's a game. It's like, a video game. You're trying to see who's, people don't tell the truth about how they look, what their desires are, their ages, how many kids they've had, what relationships, their health, sexual health. People lie so much, and that's why I choose not to be involved anymore. And I just let it go. And I don't want to be involved. And I don't want to talk to anybody anymore. And it's because it's such a game and a rat race that you can't trust anybody anymore, and nobody tells the truth. And that's the reason why I choose not to be involved anymore. I don't like games. I don't like liars and people who play around and, like try to persuade you to believe something that isn't true. And then next, they had an ulterior motive, but it wasn't good intentions. And so that's the reason why I choose not to do it. And so if anybody asks or wonders, now how come she doesn't do this and how come she doesn't do that? It's because I just don't want to. So, yeah, so I don't know. It's like there's a lot of liars out there and cheaters, and that is why I won't. A lot of times women get blamed for things they didn't do. I'm one of those that I've gotten blamed for things I have never done, um, or never tried to do, and it turns out the other people were doing it. So it's so I just like turn my back on the whole getting together, meeting someone type of stuff. That's why I don't care. Like I know, like I said, I don't want to be famous on these websites or this. I talk about like politics, things like that. Some people don't like it. Maybe they don't like me because they know that I'm black or whatever. Maybe some people know me or they think I'm lame. I talk about too many serious stuff. Maybe I should go and have a party. No, I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna go out and go to party like a 20-year-old because I'm not 20 years old. Um, and even if I was, I probably believe what I know now. I wouldn't do it. Um, with all that's going on out there. The other thing is that I think people are not honest, and you don't have genuine people like you would think. It's a game. There's people that they say there's all these elite singles and political people who are trying to date and seniors and all that. Even as an old woman, if I get older, I probably will decide not to be involved with anyone because I feel like it's all a game. It's trickery and nobody's serious and it's not realistic. And so, I've heard, sometimes I like listening to some of the crazy stuff that people do on these sites or whatever. They talk about online dating and all this kind of stuff. But guess what? I don't think it's true. I don't think it's real. I don't think it works. And I'll admit, I had tried to do that for one while, but it didn't. It doesn't seem like people are not honest, and it's dangerous too because you don't know who you're gonna run into. Um, but for some people, it's a way to meet somebody fast that you don't want to have like long-term relationship with, and so maybe it works for them or whatever. So, but I've chosen to not be involved with anyone. And no, I'm not sick with anything, like that I have to feel like I gotta be. I'm not like sick, like I talk a lot about AIDS. It's no, I don't have any of that. And so, if for those that are wondering, that I don't have those problems. But I don't know, I just don't like games. I don't like I feel like it's a lot of games out there. And times have changed when you start to get older. And people say I don't look my age, but I'm older. But when you start to get older, there's things that you require, and just all the games. That's a big deal breaker right there. And so I'm just not one that play games. Put it that way. So, but anyway, with that being said, the lady, she had like other women, they call in, they talk about their experiences, what they've experienced in relationships, inside out, what they don't want, what they want. And she mentioned, oh, I'm waiting for the best guy. Like, there is none. There is none. There is none. So it depends more on the person, the individual. If that person is serious, then that from the actions. I feel like people, what they do is more an indicator of how they are. It's not what they say or how they look. It's what kinds of things they do for you. And if that person is cheating, they're doing all this stuff, that tells you right there they're not serious. If they're not really, you can't trust them for certain little things, then the bigger things, you're not going to be able to trust them for that either. So that's the way I look at it. And I think it's what people do, that it's not about, like today, I posted a video. Some people might have could see me, I kind of, if you want to know what I look just like that avatar you see in the corner. I look just like that. That's the closest to me. I think somebody saw a picture of me, and they just drew me. And I look like that. That's exactly how I look. The only thing is, if I let my hair be an afro, it looks just like that. Only thing is, I'm a little bit older. I have some salt and pepper. But when I was younger, all black hair, that's me. You're looking at me in that avatar. You want to know what I look like? I look like that. Now, I have braids right now. But anyway, the thing is sometimes I wear my hair. Most times I wear my hair natural. You'll never find me with chemicals or anything. I have like braids, or I have a natural hairstyle, or it's natural, or it's in a bun or whatever, or pulled back or whatever. But anyway, I don't know. It's a lot of games, and then immature people out there. Some people think you're desperate. Oh, she's desperate. This kind of stuff. Let me tell you something. If you lived as long as and I've still got living to do, but even with the years that I have on me, there ain't nothing I hadn't seen and hadn't experienced or known of others' experience, I have knowledge of, that phases me. So that's just to give you a clue. I'm not shocked by all this stuff that goes on, whatever. I'm not shocked by it. So it's a lot of times, you younger people that are coming on here and you're hearing these things, you're seeing these videos, one day, if you live long enough, you'll have enough experiences under your belt to understand where I'm coming from, that you'll make a sound decision about life, and you can finally say, like, if you get in your 40s, you can say, or your 50s, you'll say, I'm not going to put up with this shit. I'm not going to put up with that shit. You're going to get there. If you get to that, if you live long enough, you're going to get to the point where you're like that. I've been there, done that. Not going to put up with that. There's certain things that there's a line that's drawn, and you're just not going to put up with it anymore. And, or you know your limits, And so some of people are not there yet. And, even I've seen some older people who they just like playing around. Like they like to chase. They like chasing. And there's some women that like chasing guys. And I'm not a guy chaser. I'm not a guy chaser. You ain't going to have me chasing after you. you know. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm gonna, now that I have some time to do this, um, there is a person I worked with, and she's like, oh, if you tell the guy he's cute and he's this, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm not telling him shit. Because I don't feel that way about him. You know, why do I got to tell him shit and he's not telling me a fucking thing? You know, so that's chasing dudes. That's weakness. And if you're chasing dudes, you're desperate. That's some shit you would do, but that ain't what I would do because I don't want it like that. You know, I don't need to chase anybody, you know. And I saw an article that said alpha male. I'm an alpha female. And so I don't chase not one motherfucker. I'm just telling you right now, I'm not going to chase you. So if you're looking for the chase, you ain't getting it in me. And so that's why I said I'm not afraid to be by myself. And so you ain't going to get me to be all stressed out up overnight. Oh, what is he thinking? No, that ain't me. So it's going to be the other way around. You're going to be wondering what the fuck I'm thinking. So there's no way that I'm going to put up with that shit. So I was like a little bit annoyed. I was a little bit like drawn back when I saw that article. It said that Trump and all of them, Kim Jong-un, they're alpha males. No, they're not alpha males. No, they're not. They're just crazy males. They're crazy, but they're not alpha. They want to be, but they're not. You know, all these guys, they want to be, but they're not. No, we shouldn't have to chase you. It should be the other way around. You should be chasing the women that you want to be really involved with. And I know that sounds like a hard pill to swallow, but if she's, and then they'll say, oh, and she's worse, she got to look like this and say, let me tell you something. If you're about superficial stuff and you don't want someone with brains, then you're the one that's going to have shortcomings. You're going to always be on the hunt, because you'll never find somebody that has the brains and they think logical and they think about things that you wouldn't believe. And those are the things that a lot of these guys, they don't even have that brain power. Some of them that I've heard, they don't really have that brain power, and it's like they don't understand. And it's like nobody's going to chase you. Nobody's going to chase you like that. I know I won't. You know, nobody with common good sense think, you know, it's not worth it. You know, it's like nobody should have to chase someone. It should be like where if the guy is interested in the female, then he should want to ask her out, and he should be the one pursuing her. If he's supposed to be doing that, then. And then she could also pursue him, but in a way where, you know, if he's, you know, but the thing is that I would not pursue anybody. My personality is I wouldn't pursue anyone. If I didn't feel like they were into me, then I wouldn't waste my time on it. And I feel like a lot of these sites, a lot of what I've heard is people pursuing people who are not really, they don't even know if that person really wants to be involved with them. And I feel like it's a waste of time. And so, you know, I heard her say that, if you meet these guys, they've been with other people and they've been with other people before they met you. They're with other people, and it's like recycling. And you're with someone who's been recycled, and I don't know. And the thing is that these people come to you saying they're disease free, they're baggage free. Let me tell you something. If you get 40 something and you hadn't had any experience with having a relationship at some point in your life, something must be seriously wrong with you. You're not being honest. And so a lot of these sites, they'll say all this, oh, I want somebody that has baggage free and is this free and all this. There's no such thing, because if you meet somebody that's past the age of 35 at least, they've had some type of relationship experience. They've had some hangups. They've had some good times, some bad times. It's unrealistic. And so a lot of these things, are not really real. And then they're looking for um, superficial relationships. They're looking for your outward appearance, how you look on the outside, but they're not caring about what you aspire to be, your goals, what your mind is thinking, the things that you do, your talents, none of that. It's just sex, a quick fix, and disappear, and that's a lot of times. Now, I'm not trying to be mean here, and I don't want to offend people personally. If you are not like this, then you shouldn't get offended. But I found that to be a lot in the Black community, where young men sort of just look for sex. And this is the older generation that has done this. This is not the young guys. I can't say anything for the guys that are under the age of 30, 30 something. But this older crowd, these guys that are 40-ish, some of them are getting serious because they're at an age now where they realize that young girls are not attracted to them. And so now there's a desperation of finding a stable relationship. And they know now all that playing around for what, for what? You should have stayed with who wanted to be involved with you. And then you got these older guys now that, they're picking up prostitutes and they're risking their health, because some of these prostitutes, you don't know what their sexual histories, you know about it, but some of them could be HIV positive. Um, they could be on drugs, which would open them up to other diseases and things. And so these guys are risking sleeping with them, and you don't know what you're going to get. And it ain't going to be good. I know that. And so it's usually the guys 40-ish and up that they kind of are like starved for sex. And they want to bypass, making commitment and getting married. There was one while this trend where Black guys didn't want to get married. Certain ones, the fear of commitment, I believe, the fear of commitment. And we don't want to be serious and get married. I've known people who they had a relationship, they had babies. It was like a married couple. They were together for years, and the guy he just would not get married. 20, 30 years. He just would not get married until finally he decided, okay, you're the only one that's tolerated me all these years through thick and thin. Okay, now that they're older, the kids are almost out of the house or in college, then he decides to marry her. I mean, what kind of stuff is that? Why would you treat African American women that way? That she's had your kids, she's been with you, she's feeding you, you're living with her. When you don't have any place to go and no job, she supported you. When you did have a job, she supported you. When you had a little bit of money, she supported you, but you still wouldn't marry her. So now that you're older and you realize, okay, going to the club and hanging out, these young girls are not feeling me no more. Okay, I'm going to marry the one that's at home, that's always been there for me, always been there for my kids, always been feeding me, always been supportive. You should have did that years ago. And so this is the kind of thing that is a turnoff. And, I even seen a marriage where this woman, she was with this guy all his years of gangbanging. He was a gangbanger. She gangbanged herself. And so she decided to get her life in order. And, she always was with him. and he didn't want to marry her. He didn't marry her until he got to the point to where nobody else wanted him. Most of his teeth were knocked out. And then finally he decided to marry her. She was always there with him. Always, whenever he was in trouble, she was holding down the fort. This is a black woman dealing with the black guy that was in, he was in a gang or what, an ex-gang member or whatever, and she was an ex-gang member. She got out, and she just was always there for him. And he decided, okay, now I'm going to get serious. Now that he got into like his 50s, he realized nobody wants him. Most of his teeth are missing. And so he finally decided to marry her. And the wedding, you know what, how the wedding went? Like a gang wedding. A gang wedding. And then what upset me is that he waited so long to do this when he should have did it years ago. I assumed they were already married because everywhere he was, she was. Everywhere I saw him, I saw her. I'm like, how come? I thought they were already married. The way that she acted with him. But and then I saw him, call himself being on like some of these sites or whatever. So I guess he was still on the hunt. I'm thinking, why would you be on the hunt when this person has always been there for you? And so I'm just kind of giving some people an inside clue as to, it's just really a turnoff. It's like, here you got this woman, she's been there for you all these years, but you waited because you felt like something else was out there. Now all your teeth are knocked out, and you decided, okay, I'm just going to marry the one that's always wanted to be in my corner. What kind of stuff is, and then like, I'll give you another scenario. Actually, it's real. Some of this stuff is, a lot of it is real. I just haven't said the names of people, and what's the use? Nobody knows them. But anyway, at work, there's this guy, and he's like, oh, I was with this other girl on the rebound. Right away, I was turned off when I heard that rebound. So it's like a game to you. Women are a game. You're with this woman, the woman you really want. You're not with her, but you're with this woman until you can get the woman that you really, really wanted to be with. But now you're with the woman that you wanted to be with. She dissed you and dumped you. So now you're trying to figure out, okay, what I'm going to do. I'm fucked because I'm not with the one I want to be with. The one that wanted to be with me, I dumped her. So I'm not with no motherfucker. Yeah, I'm not with nobody. So that is, I heard a guy do this at work. He was like, oh, the other lady was a rebound. I'm like, what the fuck is a rebound? That's like playing a game. It's playing a game. So he's telling me all this. I'm listening, and I'm like, so that's what you feel about us. That's in my head. I'm thinking that's a fucking, he's not the only one that thinks like this. There are other guys out there who think the same way that he does. They look at us as rebounds or people to play games with. They're not serious about anything. They're not serious about relationship unless it benefits them in some kind of way. And they come in with this bullshit. We want to control you. We want to dominate you. We want to tell you what to do, where are you going, who you're with, what to dress, and all this bullshit. And, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be involved in that. And I don't want to be a part of it. If that's what that relationship is about, then I don't want to fucking be a part of it. And I'm just making myself clear. If that's what it's going to be about, then don't come my way. And they don't have to come my way. Even if they come my way, I'm going to turn them away. But if, I'm just telling you straight out, I don't got time for bullshit games. And the older ones are worse. The older ones, ladies, when you get older, beware. Some of the older guys are worse. They try to do that shit like back in when they were 20 years old. They go through a midlife crisis. They try to pretend like they're back in the days of when they were when they were teenagers. There's some guys like that, and they do some dumb shit. And it's like, just stay away from it. They make careless mistakes. They lie, cheat just the same. And then if you see what kind of people, they were like, well, what the fuck do you have the nerve to cheat on me? Look at you. You know, it's like you, of all people, should not be cheating on anyone. But you'll find people will have the you know, gumption to try to do stuff like that. And I'm like, just let it go. But this is probably my random thought. This is coming from the video I saw earlier. There's these videos by Deborah Cooper. I think her name is Deborah Cooper. Surviving dating or whatever. Something I listened to. Some of the stuff she has, the content is good, but a lot of it's just like chasing guys, I guess it's maybe the females on there. Their whole thing, and then some of them are so like clueless, brainless. The women, some of the shit they come up with, it's like, oh, he told me I was gonna do this, and so I'm still with him. He said he was gonna marry me, but I paid for his education, I paid his bills, but he still hasn't married me yet. You know, stupid shit like that. I'm like, these I don't know if they're females or just idiots, period. You know, whatever. Some of the shit that I've heard, it's like so fucking dumb. And I'm thinking to myself, like, there's no way. There's no way. I must be a mean bitch or whatever. But I'm not stupid. Put it like that. I'm not gullible. Let's just say that. Because there's no way. Because some of the shit that I heard, some of these women are letting these guys get away with, it's like bullshit. It's like, who is fucking doing this? It's like, this must be some shit. You know, but she says they send her letters or texts, email about their problems and some of the stuff. I will tell you this. One time I drove up in a gas station and this lady was like in her 60s. I say she was in her 60s. And she said, could you help me pump the gas? I looked at her. I thought she was bullshitting me. And I thought, you know, sometimes at these gas stations, it's kind of funny because you don't know if people are trying to pull your leg. But this lady seriously had a nice car and everything. She said, well, my husband usually does this, but he's not around. And so he never taught me how to pump the gas. I'm like, oh, fucking my God. This lady was like, but older though. She was back in that generation where guys were doing everything. You know, women couldn't pump, you know, and some of that was out of respect, like, oh, you don't have to pump the gas, like that's a man's job, we'll do it. But now that you look at the way things have changed now, it's like you got to know how to pump your own gas, lady. You got to know how to do certain things for yourself, you know, because her husband died. So she said her husband had died. And so all of the things that he used to do, she's learning to do on her own now that he's dead. I've said this on other videos. If that guy is dead and he was your guy, the perfect guy, he dies. If you don't have any job skills, you don't know what to do for yourself, what the fuck are you going to do? So get this stuff out of your head that, oh, one thing is a man's job and one thing is a woman's job. You better learn how to do some of that shit yourself, because if you don't and he dies, and sometimes women will outlive their husbands. If he dies, you're up the creek without a paddle. Unless you got a son or whatever and you put him in charge. But, you know, what kind of stuff is that? You know, I don't know. But eventually people do get old and you lose some of your sight and whatever. I can understand if you get old and you just can't do it because of your physical health. But this woman was physically able to do stuff. She just didn't know how to do it because her husband was always doing this. And she, you know, she'd ride in the car or whatever. He was always doing the gas or doing what he thought was guy stuff. And so she didn't know how to put gas in her car. And so she asked me to help her, and I helped her. And so that's an example right there. It's like, ladies, you need to learn how to be self-sufficient, do things on your own. And don't always think that, oh, I don't want to be by myself for the rest of my life. Because, what if you get married, you're with somebody for years, and then they get sick and they die, and now you're alone? Because you're not going to go out and then you get to an age where you're not even wanting to go out and look for someone else. You're not wanting to do that because you're older, your body has changed, you look different, you're tired, and your kids have grown up and everything, and you're not trying to do that stuff anymore. And so people don't think about that. They think about, oh, I'm gonna always look the same way, and we're gonna always be young, and I don't want to be by myself for the rest of my life, whatever. They think their spouse is gonna live forever. Whoever they're with, they're gonna live forever. And that's not true. You're not even gonna live none of us is gonna live forever. So that's why I think it's just silly. Some of the stuff I've seen online, guys, they'll be fighting women, arguing, oh, are we whining? Are we doing this? Are we doing? First of all, if you're always making videos about women, you want one and you don't know how to get one and keep one. The other thing is that you're never making videos talking about how you just want to be by yourself. It's always wanting to get with someone. And so there's all these sites right here. I think, it's like a game. See, look at this. It's like a game. Look, so many of them. It's a game. It's not real to me. And I think it's phony. And, I can only say that there's a few people I know in real life that actually met people on these sites. They actually met people don't actually really tell the truth on there. They make up stories and they're not honest. And that's the thing that bothers me. I just don't like dishonesty and the games. And so for that reason, I don't really look to pursue anything. I feel like if maybe the person is wanting a relationship, they're really serious, they want something, then they're going to want to pursue it. And then maybe I would take it serious. But if it's I'm having to chase somebody and tell them all this bullshit, I'm not corny either. And why do I got to tell some dude, oh, you're cute, and all this? That's like high school bullshit. I'm not gonna do that. You're not gonna hear it from me. You're just not gonna hear from me. And you're cute. And the other thing is how do you know I want to be involved with a guy? How do you know that it's a guy that I want to be involved with? Maybe I don't want to be with a guy. Maybe I want to be by myself. And maybe I just don't want to be with anyone. Or maybe I'm not straight. Maybe I'm gay, whatever. But, it doesn't matter what. I'm not interested in anyone right now, actually. I've said that a number of times. I feel like this. I feel like there's too much drama. Even in the gay world, there's drama. There's drama. There's drama in those relationships. So that doesn't mean that it's safe. People think, oh, gay people, they have great relationships. They are out there, they want to be married. It's drama in that too. So I think it's just drama everywhere. So it doesn't matter what it is. It's drama. And so maybe I've just kind of like outgrown all the drama. Look at these crazy images. But anyway, so this is probably more me. I'm on the phone. I'm by myself. I'm not really thinking about dealing with anybody else's drama. And I kind of get a joy out of being by myself. I don't have to have someone else around to make me happy. So I guess it's the best way to put it. So I'm going to end this video at that. Like, comment, subscribe, even if you don't subscribe. Thanks for listening.